modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.
It was already cooking, and then as we started migrating to Chicago, New York, some went to LA, depending on where your family came from, there was a reinforcement rebellious spirit coming out of the South because it's natural because the Confederate States were majority in the South. And so you did have to have a certain type of on you, even though the northern states were, they was bastards too. I'm just saying, like, for you to start,
Don't forget even pregnant women. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna
I'm not,
shout out why Black American women are deemed as being aggressive. If you research
I
in
didn't bring up,
1712,
okay.
well, I'm out here now. I'm on the limb, and I got to stay on here till the bitch breaks, right?
I like that. She on the limb. I like. Hold on. I'm gonna use that shit. I'm on the limb.
No. Here's my thing. During the 1712 slavery vote, if you research it, there were pregnant women who were reprimanded for taking part, right? They had to literally give birth before whatever punishment was given to them was given. That's all. And I think that we had in the North that when you say fighters and stuff, yes, Simon, we were fighters up here, even our women. And I think that their spirit lives in us, and that's why they think New York women are so damn aggressive. Not saying that the South didn't have fighters there. Of course they did. Of course they did. But what I'm saying is ours isn't talked about enough. And New York women are always put down for being aggressive. Well, God damn it, we got a reason. Our ancestors was up here banging it out in the 1712 slavery vote. That's all, y'all. I just wanted to put that out there. Go
I
ahead,
put it like
Simon.
that. I put it like this. I hate. Wait. Let me clear this up. I would hate for our people to think that the northern states was some type of Disneyland. It wasn't Teletubby land. It just happened to be the Union. It was still just as prejudiced. It was still just as it was still racist. They just had it. They just weren't their location. This is geographic. The only reason why the North was slightly less racist than the South was geographic location. The land in the North, it wasn't as fertile as the South, so they could not economically use
Ooh,
the
good point.
use the slaves in the
Wow.
way that the Southerners were able to use them. It was pure geographical because up here in the North, when you ride through a lot of our towns and our small cities, what you're gonna see a bunch of walls, right? Little walls through our highways. But these walls are made of stone. Well, guess what? All of those stone begin in the ground. And I'm talking boulders. We have boulder, how do you say it? Boulder fences, like boulder gates. And what happened was, wait, hold on real quick.
I like
Yeah,
these smart
well,
black people.
but I was gonna say was that even though the South was quote unquote reinforcements for the North during the 40s and you know what I'm saying, during the Renaissance era and all that, it was the North who was reinforcements for slaves during the slavery period, because
Hold on, Kang. Wait, hold on. My
you
bad.
have to
Wait,
remember that William Taylor is the father of the Underground Railroad, and he's from New Jersey.
but let me finish what I was saying, right? Because this boulder, if you from the north, you in the tri-state, New York, Jersey, Massachusetts, like Connecticut, Rhode Island, when you drive through your smaller towns or even like your highways, look into the woods, right? Look into the woods. You're gonna see a fence. Well, we call it a fence, but it was really like a wall. And those walls that's like ancient um it's like ancient home borders. Like, oh, this is my house, this is my section. Those boulders that marks that boundary, those boulders came out of the ground. Those boulders came out of the ground because at first the North was trying to use slaves to do the same type of crop shit that the South was doing. But what happens in the North when you start digging, you run into boulders. We got a bunch of boulders in our ground. And so what they did, that's why we have a bunch of stone buildings up here. So what they started doing was they would reach into the ground and they started taking the boulders out. They would ship them off to make cement and brick. That's why we got a lot of brick buildings up here, historical brick buildings. But secondly, they were trying to match what the South was doing. They were trying to get the
Simon, something's wrong with
soil.
your mic, bro.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
might
Mike.
be.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
it's like
static coming from your end.
static.
Hold on,
I'm
let me
gonna
put.
why he get his mic together. Remember, I said people probably just didn't like what was going on in the North. The culture that was here because we were considered uppity because of the Dutch, right? And
Yep.
so Revolutionary put a comment down, right? And she says New York is ballroom and there we go, cakewalk. And ballroom dance music is New York and influenced the swing era. And you know what? Cakewalk and ballroom does sound a little bit, what others would call up. Thank you, Revolutionary. I've been asking and asking. I've been looking and looking. And everybody would tell me BX is hidden. BX is hidden. And here comes Revolutionary giving me my answer. The ancestors said, let my child rest. Let her know what we were doing. So now we could continue. Go ahead, guys.
I
Okay,
don't know
all
if
right, all right.
my mic is better.
Hey, maybe before can I say something? Can I say something before I go, y'all? I don't want to take over.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Because I don't want to beat a thing in the ground, but there's so much us Black Americans, and we such a great people. Oh my God, we do everything. But the hip hop thing, I'm gonna leave soon. But I kind of was, I really wanted, I was hoping for a Puerto Rican or Jamaican to come on and tell, because I want to get this shit out, this stuff out the way, because it really, remember, hip hop saved me. I'm that kind of guy. I mean, when hip hop came out, I was so happy. So to see these people, when hip hop came out, remember, I hung up with Puerto Ricans, and the Jamaicans, I didn't even know who they was. I knew Puerto Ricans in New York. I'm gonna give Puerto Ricans credit. Puerto Ricans in New York before Jamaicans. But remember, I'm 65. Started seeing Jamaicans around 15. Hip hop, somebody said hip hop already created. So we doing our things, but I want y'all, because some of y'all don't know, because we don't know. We go, oh, I didn't know us. We need every single Black American, the kids, to be offended when foreigners claim your stuff and your music. And some of the Caribbeans, they might really believe they helped it. So that's different. They got to learn too. And some of the Puerto Ricans, they might really believe that but we got to check them, and we don't need no disrespect. Hip hop is ours. I remember when hip hop came out, hold up. You know something, y'all? I sold mixtapes in Patterson, New Jersey about 1995. Do you know that listen to this carefully. Mixtape, y'all know what mixtapes are. People from New York, mixtapes, a lot of artists would come out, mostly rappers, before they songs come out, and they would have maybe the Locks, or it might be DMX. First time I heard DMX was mixtape. So a lot of Black artists, a lot of hip hop artists. Do you know 90%, y'all listen to this, of my customers who would buy tapes, my Puerto Rican brothers, they was like New York kind of, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? What up, Shy? Yo, what tapes you got? And the Puerto Ricans, I sold more. They studied us, and I loved it. But they would never buy my R&B tapes. See, I would buy R&B tapes, but my hip hop, mixtapes with R&B like Jagged Edge, blah, blah, blah. And I had the hip hop tapes. God is my witness. 90% of my customers who bought, and I sold a lot of, I would go to Harlem. I forgot the spot, and I would go to the spot, I got DJ Clue, all them, and I would go to Patterson and Passaic, and my Puerto Rican dudes was like, yo, what's up? And they bought these hip hop songs, no Puerto Ricans on them. Y'all keep that in mind. Who created hip hop? I'm going because I'm gonna stop talking and try to get off here. I'm 65. Let a Puerto Rican or Jamaican tell me y'all created hip hop. Verbally, I'm gonna box your head up. But verbally, I'm gonna throw body shots to you. Verbally, I'm gonna uppercut you, and you're gonna say, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I claim it. And the Puerto Rican's gonna say, hey, man, sorry I claim it. Yeah, I don't play that stuff. I'm sorry for being crazy. I'm from New York, man. I ain't trying to hear that. I'm sorry, y'all.
No problem. I know this is your topic.
That's my topic.
Oh yeah, and I definitely want to speak on this prompt.
It's my topic.
Go ahead. And then we could go back to the top because I see Basic. He was drinking. Go ahead.
Okay. Why do tethers lie about who created hip hop? Because there's some jealous, non-talented bastards. That's why.
There you go.
Two tethers I damn sure want to speak about. Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes. I don't like either one of them. I used to like Fat Joe until he started disrespecting us FBAs. Uh, when we asked him to stop using the N word, he's like, why would I want to stop using the N word? I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in the projects in the South Bronx. I use the word all the time. I grew up around black folks. I'm gonna keep using it. And then in some interview he did with some West Indian tether, what was it? Late last year, early this year, he's like, "Oh, these FBA
Yep,
niggas."
yep, yep,
Yep.
yep, yep, yep.
I feel like, you know what? I done lost all respect for him because he admitted to being a white, brown haired, green eyed Puerto Rican dude growing up in the Bronx. So you white, even though you Hispanic, you a white Hispanic of Spaniard descent.
Yep.
So you
Spaniard.
white, you automatically know off the rip, we don't approve of white people using the N word, even if you grew up with us. And Busta Rhymes, his punk ass, he I remember in one interview he said a couple of years ago, he said, "Oh, Black Americans, we ain't got no talent." We ain't got no talent. Why you?
He didn't just say that. He said they don't got no talent and they got all they shit they got from us. Oh, I can't stand him. When that horse face, when I saw him say that, I said, ooh. So
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
y'all get, and I want to recruit the South. That's why I want to bring, because a lot of us New Yorkers, we compromise. We are. We live around them. That's why they don't say nothing. I'm telling you why. If you live in New York, it's really hard. You ain't gonna speak hard. We need people out of New York. That's why I want the South. People in New York, I mean, some of them they speak, but they ain't gonna go that hard because they got Puerto Rican friends. My brother they got Puerto Rican. I got Puerto Rican nieces. I don't want to hurt their feeling. I got Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. You know, if they knew the stuff I said, their heart would be broken. That's why I
But it's not about her. Wait, time out. See,
Let me
wait.
tell you something.
It's not about. Hold on, man. It's not about hurting their feelings.
Right.
You're
Fuck their
hurting. You're
feelings.
hurting. Wait. No, you're hurting them by not telling them the truth because
no,
you're
I mean
not. You're not.
I speak hard. I'm
I'm
saying
not
no, I
saying that. That's
overdo
what
it.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about. It's not about. You can say it in a different way, but it's about at least giving them the tools of truth and letting them go into that research themselves. Because then later on, they'll come back to you and be like, yo, you was telling the truth. Yo, Black Americans did that side of me. Like that's what they want. They are looking for the truth, but because adults feel like the children can't handle the truth, these kids is handling the truth way better than how a bunch of adults is at this point. These kids is raised with social media, so they're gonna get the truth in a raw way, real disrespectful, or you can introduce them to it in your way. But the truth is gonna be thrown at your kids or your nieces or your family members, your younger generation's face, regardless. Social media is a new third parent that people didn't expect to be. It's literally the radio in everybody's ear, like live radio. That's just what it is.
Simon, make sure we friends with you, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need all these people on get my. Sometimes my oldness forget how to do this because these are the people. And let me. I must make it short. Simon,
Just
you're
follow
right.
BX. Yeah, just follow BX.
I
And
follow her. What
wherever
I was saying,
BX
Simon.
at, I'm usually where BX is at. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay, I wasn't saying that I'm not telling. I want to make sure I clear what I'm saying. No, I make sure I teach them. But what I'm saying is, when I get online, I'm not nice about it, and I'm tired of being nice about it. That's what I'm saying. So I'll start saying stuff like Neanderthal blood. I'm just letting you know that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say that to them. I ain't pulling. Once it come a fight, I'm not playing no more.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to know that, they got a uncle that's raw. Like, they
Okay,
can't
got
be
it,
like,
got it.
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
I got it.
it's not time to be hiding who you really are from nobody at the end of the day. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? Because these people, the kids, especially the generations underneath us, they're running into a bunch of different personalities, and they need to know how to react without having to get, physical. But if they know that, but if they know that they could, they could respond with speech patterns, they may have to put on your speech pattern one day because that's what's needed for somebody to, to actually respect the stance that they in. But when it comes to defending, the Black American heritage side of their lineage, and even telling other Puerto Ricans, nah, yo, yeah, I'm half Spanish and I'm half Black American, I'm half foundational, and I can't hold you. My Puerto Rican side ain't do shit. My foundational Black American side did, and you don't get to claim that shit. It's two different things. That's just like a respect thing. We failed. You feel me? Our culture failed at Pan Africanism. It's a failure. It was a failure Bible that we had to burn up and put that shit into the fireplace. We moving forward without Pan Africanism, so that's really what it is. It's like I get it, being around a bunch of different ethnic groups and all that shit, but it is what it is. Things change, but I land, bro.
Good
Basic.
stuff.
You want to enter the conversation before I give my submission?
Yeah, sure. What's going on, everybody?
Hey.
So when it comes to hip hop, I don't normally really get into the conversation. I'm from the South. To me, New York hip hop is a New York thing to me.
It's a Black American New York. I'm gonna say that. It's because this the problem that them tellers be doing. And I seen it. I'm like, oh, that's what they're trying to do. They say, yeah, hip hop and New York culture, because they want to separate Black American New Yorkers from their roots. Then they can claim it. But
Exactly, brother.
Yeah. That's right. So the New York culture, but that culture, that hip hop, it didn't just start in New York out of the poof. There were people there who did it, and those particular, I can name them. Disco King Mario. I can name a whole bunch of them. My mind just get too thrown off. I'm gonna tell you something. As a New Yorker who used to brand, look, I'm a New Yorker. I changed. I used to put down the South a little bit. Not totally, because my mother from the South. Like, yeah, I was an arrogant New Yorker. I was. Yeah, New York. I was on that stuff. But I stopped doing that years ago. So then, even now, I realize what happened. Yeah, we tend to get arrogant in New York. That's the culture. But it's Black American New York culture. It ain't New York. If you say New York culture, then the Puerto Ricans and the Jamaicans can slip in there. It's New York culture from Black Americans, mostly from the South. And when I say mostly, I'm talking about the music. I understand. I gotta talk about the music I know. When you show me some music show me some music from New York, and I'll stop saying from the South, music from the South. But until you show me music beginning, I gotta go to the root, and that separates the tellers in New York.
All right, cool. So
he's just
so let me. I
Leave because I get too hyped. Hey, I love y'all. I got something to do anyway. I love you, y'all.
You ain't gotta leave, but just let him get his statement out.
Yeah,
That's all.
Hey, family, you don't gotta leave, bro. You stand there.
All right, cool. I'll be quiet. I'm here. I'm listening, baby. I love it. This is good. This is like church to me.
All right. So I get what you're saying, but I'm talking about hip hop itself. I believe it's a New York thing. And New Yorkers, whether they are Black Americans or whether they are foreigners or whatever, in my experience, New Yorkers have always looked at themselves as a separate entity and didn't care about ethnicity or none of that. From my experience, which is why there was like this divide. Because when I came across New Yorkers, it was like, huh?
Sorry, guys said he's right, and I'm saying say for yourself, say for yourself.
Yeah, for me, he's right about that's the thing we got to separate. Some of us, he's right. Some of us, we really got, and some of us, we got caught up in the New York thing. I'm gonna let you know that though. I did. I was arrogant.
I mean, that's my experience. Like New Yorkers, they pretty much it didn't really seem like ethnicity or none of that really mattered to people that was from New York. It was just about whether you was from New York or not, or whatever. Which is why I believe New York used to have issues with people down south and people out west and stuff like that, because it was just all about New York. Now, when I do get into any type of conversation about hip hop, I usually just go into the things that we were doing down south, like rapping, certain music and things like that, because you do have people outside of our people who try to make claim to certain aspects of hip hop, which I will never let them do, because there are certain aspects that were birthed in the South. So that's my only thing with it. Like, what y'all did with hip hop in New York, I don't really get into it because I've never been to New York. I don't know nothing about New York. New York is just is a different place to me. Um
So
but
you don't have family here in New York, basic?
no,
No?
man. Mm-mm. My
Okay.
my my family that left the South went to Detroit.
Okay.
Um, so other than Detroit, I think the only people I may have some. I think I got some family in Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. But all my folks is in the South, Mississippi for the most part. So no,
Okay.
I don't really, I don't, I never really met nobody from New York, to be honest with you, in like in real life. You know what I'm saying? And we had a run in. Memphis had a run in with some New York people some years ago on YouTube, because New Yorkers were trying to say that we stole something from them, and we had to shut that shit down. Now I
Can I ask
do
you a
like
question?
I've noticed that New York got this arrogance where y'all feel like y'all like created everything black and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we have this dance in Memphis that we've been doing since like the 70s, and they tried to say we took it from New York, and we had to prove them wrong. But other than that, I just
You,
let
you
them do their thing.
you talk about
I
that
got a
Memphis
question.
juke?
Yeah,
Memphis Joke?
Memphis Juke and Gangsta Walking, Bucking, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we've been doing that since the 70s. And
Mhm.
back, I believe this was the early 2000s. We had some New York people tried to say we stole it from New York.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know the
Yeah.
background of those New Yorkers? Do you know if they were
No,
foundational?
this was on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know none of them. I just know that they was New Yorkers.
Okay.
The
All
only
right.
one that I can remember, like, I think he went by Ghost. He was a dancer in New York, and his name was Ghost. That's all I remember. And he actually ended up battling this dude named G Nerd from Memphis.
And he
But
lost.
I didn't know none of those people.
Like I'm like he lost. So New Yorkers are arrogant. We are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We are. So here's my issue. Story guy admits that he would poke at the South and say funny things, right? Um, Me and my friends just didn't talk about the South. I don't know. That's me. That's my experience. It just sounds like, and you don't know anybody from New York. So, like, if I call FBA prime time in here, he's from the Carolinas, Carolina to be specific. I forget which part. He has family in New York. So, different Southerners will have different outlooks, and you don't have nobody whose migration path is New York. Can we be cocky? Yes. If you look at my top 20 list, you'll see that it's all old school New York, but I do love T.I., right? And I think I had Scarface on there, like the Scarface Ghetto Boys. Scarface is what, from Houston or something like that? But if you look at Keisha, a thorough Black Talk World Views comment, when you said that it's like New Yorkers don't care about ethnicity, she says wrong. We do and did care about ethnicity. So we do care about ethnicity. And
Yeah.
we care. We really do. And New Yorkers will walk around. This is a New York thing that Black Americans probably started. Where you from? So you Black too? You know what I'm saying? So we care about ethnicity because we've been faced with anti-Black American hatred here, right? Now our children are faced with where you from, and they be like, "Oh, I'm Black American." No, but where you really from? Like they think everybody has to be by ethnic or be an Afro Latino or Afro Caribbean. So there's dynamics that because you don't know anybody from New York, you just get the surface level, right? You get the, oh no, we started that. Oh no, no, you didn't, and then y'all got a battle and stuff like that. But there's an element. I could spot a cosplayer. Why do you think there's people who come to me like BX? I was on this panel and this lady said this is how y'all do it in New York. This is how y'all cook y'all food and stuff like that. But I think she a Tether. And when I answer the question for them, they be like, I knew she was a Tether. So we do care about ethnicity. However, we're still loving, kind, and they think we don't have no Southern hospitality, but we do have Southern roots, and we do care about people. So even though we face those type of things, and I hope I'm expressing it right, we also had an element of we understand the system, and we're going to help these people fight the system. So Pan Africanism was able, please mute Red until I finish. Pan Africanism was carried by
Somebody
us
phone
because
messing up.
those who could be deported, I'm gonna mute you. So because those who could be deported wouldn't fight for themselves. So when Keisha says we do care about ethnicity, Keisha was very big in the Pan African movement. I follow her on YouTube. She tells the history of Pan Africanism in New York, and she even interviewed with me on my panel, and I have the video up on YouTube. I'll send it to you just so you could get a better understanding. Is that we always cared about ethnicity. We just went at the system most because until recent times, for me personally, I didn't exactly think that me fist fighting someone was the result of disdain from their nation or their island. And that would be exhibited in locking us out of home ownership, locking us out of the government. Like I just thought it was two people going at it, and just one happened to be correct. Stuff like that. But that's my experience. I don't even know if I'm explaining it correctly to you. But even though I had Caribbean friends and stuff like that, I'm still and Latino friends. I'm still the Black American. They're gonna call to make some macaroni and cheese because they like my macaroni and cheese, and no, that's not their thing, right? So my son, he does a form of urban farming. He came home with some collard greens, some spinach, and something else. So I was like, I don't want all them collard greens. So I said, give them to the lady outside. She's Latino, y'all. Give it to the neighbor. So when he said, here, miss, he said her name. I don't want to say her name because I don't know who know us on this app. He said, here's some collard greens. She said, oh, no, I don't cook that. So I said, well, give it to such and such. The such and such is the Black American who's also indigenous and says, I know I'm indigenous. You know what I'm saying? And she's an older lady. And he said, here, miss such and such, here's some collard greens. She's like, oh, yeah, baby, I take those. So we do understand that in certain households, in our areas, Black Americans have their own culture. Part of our culture is cuisine, and a Puerto Rican can't cook collard greens like us. They won't even take the collard greens and cook them themselves. Get it? So we do care, and we do understand. We do know. We just was thinking it was all of us against the system, despite fighting each other from time to time. But we do understand microaggressions. And I think that's why I'm able to admit everything. I can have individual relationships, but collectively, there are people arming for us. And now I'm realizing how deep the betrayal went, besides name calling. See how that works?
Wow,
Yeah.
I never knew y'all dealt with anti-Black American, had anti-Black American attitudes towards y'all in NYC.
What?
Oh,
What? Hold up. Hey, you know how many times I got bused? I'm 65. I remember I moved to Staten Island from Brooklyn. I don't care. And I got bused to school. They still had buses in 1974. I went to New Up High School, and we always, listen, I'm proud. And not to be racist, because I had so many fights, not just with white guys, racist white guys. We had to fight them all the time. In fact, I'm going to go back to the beginning of hip hop and Disco King Mario, the Black Spades in the Bronx. The reason why they started the Black Spades, they'll tell you, you can find them on YouTube. These young black kids, they was like 10 to 13. They were New Yorkers, a lot of them they were New Yorkers with parents from the South. I'm gonna keep saying that. But they were New Yorkers, right? And they started the game. I should see the Black Spades. I was like 10. I didn't know why they was there. They started them specifically to fight, to protect against Italian Americans and the Puerto Ricans who would jump them when they would go to a certain neighborhood. The Black Spades was formed to protect Black Americans from Puerto Ricans and Italians and white people. And back to the ethnicity, we were arrogant in New York, and even though we looked at ourselves as, you couldn't speak about the South, but we could. So we still knew, we were arrogant, like, yeah, my mother from the South, but we looked at ourselves as more New York, and that's, other foreigners feel that way too. The Jamaican in New York, they will feel they're more New York make you get arrogant. They feel like they're better than Jamaicans. They won't admit it. And the Puerto Ricans in New York feel like they're better than Puerto Ricans. And the Black Americans in New York, I'm not saying now. I'm not saying it's right. Just listen. Classier and
I'm
evolved.
like, go ahead, get it out.
So that's what it was. We thought we were more evolved, more sophisticated than our Southerners, but you couldn't talk about Black Southerners. We could. So we wasn't against the South. Nobody, a Black American could speak about the South bad, but nobody else could. Yeah, that's how it was. And we didn't speak about the South
I
bad.
get what you're saying. I could fight my sister today, but you better not touch her tomorrow.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. We knew we was Black. We talked about Martin Luther King. We talked about we knew about Harriet Tubman, and we knew about that. We wasn't stupid in New York. We just got caught up in thinking, and you know that's true because you got people all the time, they knew in New York and they lose their minds. So yeah, that's how New Yorkers was arrogant. New York will make you arrogant. Something about it. Atlanta got it now. A lot of Atlanta's becoming arrogant. I love
Even
it.
the
That's
rats
why
arrogant up there in New York City, man.
Huh? What?
You know,
I said,
I heard what you said.
That's right. Even our rats.
Oh, man.
I said even
This is important. Let me tell you something. Do you know New York is not #1 on having rodents, honey? That is Chicago and Los Angeles.
I got you. I want to throw a shade.
I gotta say this. I was so tired of that narrative when I'm swinging in the comments section on the post and they New York rats this, New York rats that. So I looked it up. Who got the most rats? And Orkin in October 2023, I gotta check the list again, okay? Said Chicago and Los Angeles had the most rats. And in New York, it's not even the city that got the most rats, it's upstate New York.
Really?
But New York has the most arrogant rats, though.
Even the squirrels are arrogant in New York
Dick,
City.
you missed the joke. You missed the joke. That was a good laugh. He's saying New Yorkers are so goddamn arrogant, even our rats are arrogant. That's so it's a joke.
I know, but the squirrels
funny
are
as hell.
too. Let me tell you something. I was walking, I said to my son, why don't the damn squirrel move? And it was a black squirrel. He said, Ma, that's a black New York squirrel. It ain't going nowhere. Usually they scurry past you and stuff. I'm just walking and the squirrel wouldn't move. I said, why the damn squirrel won't move, y'all? Because I'm scared of them. I don't want them jumping on me, you know. So we are arrogant. We are. And so, well, what do you think now, Basic, since meeting New Yorkers? Do you think that we're A1 or you think we still have some type of disparaging feelings towards the South?
Man, the people that are cool are cool. I think you can't really, well, I guess you can generalize, but you know, like I take people for what they are. Like the people that I meet and the people that I know, I judge them based on what I know about them. But if I give a general consensus, because I still hear some of the same stuff. Like about a week ago, I was on a panel and these was Pan-Africans, Black Americans, and one of them literally told me he was mad at me because I'm FBA, and this dude literally said, "Oh, you from the South? No wonder. We got to give grace to our Southern brothers. They a little slower than us up north."
You got to see the answer to that. I wish it was me. See, that's knowledge is key, and it's about like New York. You know about playing the dozens. That dude, that's a dirty dozen. He was like snapping on you. That's what he was doing. He's snapping. He's snapping. He was like, yeah, the South. I wish if you could, I would have found a good snap on him. But also, a lot of the Black American New Yorkers are cosplayers. A lot of them are not us. They either have career. He might have been all FBA. I'm not saying he wasn't. But whenever you hear New Yorker, you really got. I'm telling y'all, please tell your friends. You got New Yorkers who you might assume are Black American, and they either. Their parents, they were born in New York City, so they might even be second generation immigrant, or half. So pay that attention. And so this one to say that all New Yorkers who may seem like they're FBA or native or ADOS, whatever you call freemen, all that's good with me. They are not really us. And I didn't know it either until later in the years. I'm like, oh, okay. So just keep that in mind. New York, you gotta
So in other words, they tethers from
Yeah, I mean,
NYC.
and
But a
look,
lot of tethers from
that's why
NYN who won't
and
tell you
that's
they
why
tethers.
I said, I just base people. If I know you, I know you. You know what I'm saying. But if I'm gonna give a general consensus, I believe from what I gather, not Memphis. New York is kind of like a Pan African place. Still, one dude that I do know, he's from New York. I never met him in person. I've known him over social media for years, and he's from New York. He's from Jamaica, Queens. And I actually had a conversation with him and two more New Yorkers. He felt the need to bring two more New Yorkers on the phone because we was having a conversation. And this is what they were telling me. And these are Black American New Yorkers. They were telling me that Black Americans are the minority in New York, but other New Yorkers say Black Americans are the majority.
Okay, so
So
first of all, I got to tell you, I get my information, I trust my information from the U.S. Freedmen's Project, right? So that's Keisha, Divine, Brooke, Brother Melrose, even if they're not, and Lady Locke, even if they're not formally a part of the U.S. Freedmen's Project, they are making strides in New York, very tapped into New York. I can tell you that foundational Black Americans outnumber the Afro-descendant immigrants in every state, and that does not mean that New York is not a part of that number. So here's the issue with New York, right? We were raised by Southerners. Some of us did lose a little bit of our connection to the South. I mean, as far as going back and forth. So for me, once I got a certain age, my granny moved back to New York because her husband transitioned. He passed away. And she came back up here because most of her daughters were here at the time. I was here with my father at the time. She didn't want to stay in the South by herself, right? So she came back. We never went back to the South until I was in my late 30s. And my son, I might have been in my early 40s. In 2016, I went to the South because New York rent prices were hiked so high. I was paying all my goddamn money to the landlord, and he was a slumlord. So I moved to Georgia for like a
You
year.
had Pika. You had Pika. Remember
Oh, you got
Pika?
family here in GA?
I have family in Georgia, yeah, but I moved down there because when I was a little girl, my granny told my father, I'm taking my granddaughter with me, and we lived in the South. And it was Georgia that we lived in. So I still remember the air, the way the air smelled, the pond, climbing trees. Like I was a little tomboy. I still remember life in the South as a little girl. But she sent me back to New York when they started unaliving the children there. Now my grandmother is very like over focused on, especially on me. And so we could have been living in Decatur, and it happened in Atlanta. She was still sending me home.
Oh, you talking
That's how.
about the
You
Atlanta
mean from
child
like
unalived?
GAG
Yeah,
Oh,
that's when I moved. That's when I was living as a little girl with my granny,
Also,
and
I'm sorry.
and she sent me back home to New York with my dad.
Yeah. My parents were in their teens when the Atlanta child unalived is what happening back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Right. Because by 1980, I was in school, and my father put me in Catholic school. But I lived in the South as a
Hey,
child.
let me add. Hey,
Um,
so
Wait, let me get this out. Then my granny sent me back home to New York, and when she moved back, like she would come, take me, we go visit her favorite auntie who was still alive at the time, right? My great aunt in South Carolina. So we would go, from New York to South Carolina to Georgia. Like I just had a connection to the South because of my grandmother. But after a while, after her husband transitioned and her favorite auntie transitioned, we didn't visit the South again, and she passed like in New York. And then when in 2016, I moved to the South for a year, got homesick, came back to New York, and then I left a child here who I felt needed more stability, and I'd be able to help him better if I was in New York. My
good
plan
mama.
is
That's a good mama. Look out for your
yes.
baby.
So my plan is to go back to the South, and my kids are trying to help me make it a reality. But I don't never want to live in a area that I lived before. I'm gonna go down
I
there and have
love
my
the
own
South.
land and my own house. So
basic.
that's my goal. So I'm thinking that I'm thinking that some of us lost a bit of connection to the South, so that's why they act stupid and say certain things. But then you have the
That's
New
what it is.
Yorkers that have a connection to the South, and we're more like story guys. Like But even then, that story guy and his story, right? So there's not. I don't just didn't have a lot of people that would talk about the South. And matter of fact, one of my best friends when I was a child, her mother was a migrant, she migrated up from the South. So she still had a slight Southern accent and stuff. So we just didn't have a need to talk about the South was this and the South was that if we're being raised by Southern grannies and Southern mamas. So I don't know.
I think what it
I
is.
don't
I
know the
think
type of New Yorkers you're
when
meeting, but they could be cosplayers or they could be Black Americans who don't know or understand their migration path because they lost their connection to the South.
so
I'm
from
gonna
my
leave it
understand
there. Yeah.
Nice
from
one, bro. Good
from
information, baby.
from my understanding, the majority of the Black Americans in New York actually live in upstate New York and not New
No, they
York
live in the
City.
city.
Oh, okay, all
I
right.
mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of blacks in Buffalo too.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
rap
was.
group Griselda, they're going to be more FBA, probably. I would imagine Buffalo got. I would imagine, but tethers. But immigrants follow us everywhere. My story. My mother. She used to come. She bought us. We kept a connection with the South. So that's why. But I still was an arrogant New Yorker. I'm using arrogant. Don't take that too deeply, because I mean, like I said, so I had a connection to the South. We would. I remember I used to go back. Listen, I remember I went back to New York City one day when I was 10 years old, and I went back and all my friends in Sumner Projects, right down from Sumner Project, Tompkins Project, Marcy Projects, where Jay-Z from, and whatever. So I was telling all the black kids in New York. Yo, Atlanta is the black capital of the world, because I knew the first time I saw black store owners when I came from New York to down south, all the store owners was black. I saw black home. I didn't see this in New York. I really thought we all lived in ghettos
Where
until
the hell you live? No. I ain't gonna
listen
let
to
you
me.
do that to New
Well, let
York
me
because
tell.
my aunt owned the store, my uncle owned the nightclub,
Okay.
and
How
a
old are you?
taxi
How old are
stand. They
you?
are foundational.
How old
You
are you?
making it seem like we didn't own nothing.
Well, I'm giving you my experience,
Okay,
baby.
that's his experience, y'all. That's
Listen,
it.
and that's important. I'm not dogging us, and you
Okay.
helping me. Listen, in Brooklyn, all the store owners in Brooklyn, when I was from 10, 11, 12, 13, I never saw black. It's messed up. I used to wonder why all the Puerto Ricans had the stores.
Nah, you capping.
Listen,
You capping.
well,
Before the
listen.
Puerto Ricans owned the stores, the black people owned the stores. You
Well, that's
capping. Where you
good.
grew up?
Listen, you think
I
I'm
want to
making it
know
up?
what street you grew up on. Where
I
you
lived
grew
on
up?
1043 Myrtle. And listen, listen.
Myrtle and Bushwick?
No, Murder in Broadway. We used to sneak on the train and we listen. Before I go on, I'm glad you're telling me. So I'm not saying. Remember, I said I don't mind saying I'm wrong. I'm happy to This is the first time I'm hearing it. Listen to me. I stuck in stores. I stole. I didn't see black store owners. Let me tell you. And I'm
Get out of here.
yeah.
Get out of here.
So you
Myrtle and Bushwick is that's Bushwick, right?
they call it's Bushwick, and some say it's Bedford Stuyvesant, whatever. It's one of the two, Bushwick, Bedford Stuyvesant. I don't know, because I think we're on the border. But I used to sneak on the J train. Remember Macy's downtown? Remember Macy's?
Lord.
Remember the Macy's? Remember the M train? Remember the L that go from Broadway down to Macy's? All right. So all I'm saying is, now you're teaching me something. Y'all have black store owners in Brooklyn?
So you
I
know
don't
from
know if he
Harlem,
telling
my
the
guy, the
truth or
Bronx. Yes,
I don't
we
know if he
did.
telling the truth or y'all trying to save face.
Ain't nobody trying to save face. Like,
Well, look, let me go on. Look,
okay,
let me
hold
tell my
on.
story. Let me go.
Let's
Look,
not start. Let's go back to the Harlem Renaissance. You already know what type of time New York City was
that's a
on.
good
So
point. That's a
stop.
good point. That's a good
Stop
point.
that.
Look,
Stop that.
Harlem is a whole. You're right. That's a good point.
Stop
Harlem was like that. Harlem was the most of the arrogant. They was. If you was from Harlem, you was super cool. Like yeah, and niggas from Harlem, they was. This is
Lord.
my bit. Niggas from Harlem. Sorry, N-word. Brothers from Harlem,
Lord.
they was the super cool dudes. So I'm
Brooklyn
sure
is whack. Brooklyn is whack.
I don't really care. I love all black folks, but I didn't see no
Talk
store.
about Bed-Stuy ain't have no black owned stores. You
I didn't
crazy.
see nothing, man. I'm gonna tell you. Now I feel bad because like y'all, I can't change.
Don't come in here with all that.
Wait a minute. he did say according to his memory, and then he went to 13 years old. So maybe
Right.
his first memory
You.
is
And maybe.
Latinos, but I gotta tell you, even then, that's questionable because Black American stores are still in existence, right? We just don't own the corner stores, but we still own restaurants and stuff.
Well, I'm talking about
So I
corner
don't
stores. I'm only talking about corner stores. Corner stores. I'm talking about corner stores. I don't remember the other stores.
I can't
My
save
memory
you. I
is.
can't save you.
My
I
memory.
can't
Okay,
save
look,
the
Right.
let me go on.
like she ain't playing.
But I would go back to New York and I would tell them that Atlanta's the black capital of the world because that's when I saw black pharmacists. I remember that I was like, oh shit, look at black pharmacists. And I saw black store owners. And I remember I was in my cousin's house. They had their own house. Remember, I'm just and like, wow, they got a real house. They got cars. So y'all can laugh at me for being poor. Yeah, I was poor. But look, the point is, that's what we want to do. Hey, I don't mind laughing at me because you got to give it, you got to take it. So if this is a moment to laugh at me, get me good, but don't deny my story. Get me good. Call me with your, I'm telling you that I didn't see black. The first time I saw a black store when I was going to see my father in prison, and I was in Harlem, and I walked into the store, and I remember I was I probably was 8 or 9. And I saw a black lady with a white robe on. It was a Nation of Islam. I didn't know who they was. And it was so clean. And I'm like, wow, look at this black store with a black owner. Look at that black lady. That was the first time I remember seeing a black store in New York, that when I was in Harlem, waiting to catch the bus to go upstate to see my father. That's all I'm telling y'all. And I remember that memory clearly because I'm like, wow, a black person with a store. Maybe if I had went to more stores in Harlem, I would have. Huh?
Were you born in New York?
I was born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital in 1960.
I'm glad, hold on. I'm glad FBA Built America had this prompt up when you got 3 certified New Yorkers on the panel.
Certified.
I know we going by your memory, and I can't contest your memory or your experience, but I got to tell you, we did have stores before he was 13 and 9 years old and everywhere, okay?
Remember, I moved to Staten
We had an
Island.
all-black town in Staten Island. Of course,
Remember, I moved to Staten Island,
the descendant of Sandy Ground owns a restaurant, a soul food restaurant out in Staten Island too. So I just want to say this to everybody. New York does have relationship with other states people may not be aware of. There are Philadelphians who will jump on this panel and know more Black American history from New York than me. Okay, and we do know that graffiti comes from Philly.
Yep.
Right. So we do have these, and then people from the Harlem Renaissance were actually from Philly.
Yep.
Now their migration patterns, and there's people from Philly. When I say that not everybody had a connection to the South, there's people from Philly that's always been in Philly, and their family's still there. And so we have these connections with people, and I'm just trying to make sure that nobody is erased. And although I feel like New York is like attacked the most, and even a Philly person could do something, they be like, I hate them New York niggas. I'm like,
Yeah,
with New
you
York,
blame us.
they from Philly. They from Philly. I want y'all to know that even though there are those out there who may seem to put down the South and stuff, some just don't have the ties or the bonds that the ones who are going to tell you the real story of New York and our ties to the South. Even when I'm arguing with a Southerner, I don't call them slow. And, I hear some really crazy stuff. I got to admit it because, I got to admit it. Right. But also, hold on, because I can't speak for Story Guy, but I'm going to tell you one thing about BX is since I've been on this here app and got on this side of TikTok and I was modding for like Shavu, and we know how he feels, loves New York, but he's a Southerner. So he'd be like, nobody was listening to that music, BX, don't you say that, nobody. Me and Shavu had our things. My story, my account of history has never changed. I tell the truth.
You said nobody was listening to what music?
Huh?
Yeah, what music? We heard.
What music were you talking about? He said y'all wasn't listening to what music?
Oh, he's talking about reggae. And then when I was saying don't erase the North and the culture we had here, ragtime. And I think it's swing. It's ragtime and I think swing.
What year?
Don't give me the line about the year, honey.
No. Listen, I love learning. And look, let me.
Wait, let me finish the genre. So when I say he'd be like BX, but nobody was listening to that. I'm trying to preserve Northern culture, Southern culture, and whatever other culture is out there. If we're foundational Black American, right? The foundational Black American culture through all regions. But Shavu just be like, no, BX, so what if it was here? Nobody liked that music. So what I'm trying to say is I am disassociating myself from Story Guy for his account in New York. And BX has been known to be consistent and tell the truth. Some of us, and it sounds like basic, going back to his experience, and then I'm going to let Story Guy go, right? I just like to get it out. I'm old. I forget my mind frame, and I be taught having you way down the Mulberry Lane and Bush, and you ain't need to be there. It sounds like you met some Black New Yorkers, if they're really Black New Yorkers, who somewhere along their lines lost a connection with their Southern roots, and so they feeling a little, let me snap out on you, and you probably didn't know they were snapping, but it's okay to go ahead and take their juggler out, basic, if it's you.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah. So, with when he said that, like me personally, I'm not gonna disrespect the whole East Coast because of what somebody say. That's fine, whatever. But I just feel like we just have different experiences. So I think New Yorkers, maybe y'all ancestors, your Southern ancestors or whatever, maybe they came from a different part, because where I'm from, the people from the North who have family over here are normally from either Detroit or Chicago, is what I've experienced for the most part. Now, as far as like, I think there has been tension between, the like New Yorkers in the South. I don't know where it stems from, but if we talking hip hop and stuff, we have to admit that New York, for the most part, didn't like how we rapped and shit. They didn't like it.
We didn't. I couldn't stand it.
And it was cool, and I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I'm one of the people who feel like Southern rap should have never. I don't think we should have been considered hip hop. I think y'all should have had y'all own music genre. Y'all can call it hip hop, and we would have just ran with Southern rap, and it probably wouldn't have been no issue.
Word.
Because I feel like New York booed one of the most hip hop Southern groups ever, and I just feel like that was just terrible.
I was at the Source Awards when you talking about when they booed
Outkast.
I was there. I got friends.
Wait, we don't know if that was him, because there was another group, Tootsie Roll, that one.
No, I was at
no. This was
we
Outkast.
booed them, and I don't think we booed them. But
no,
listen.
Hold on, story guy. Hold
on. Let him get it out.
Hold on, story guy. Hold on. All right, BX, go back and when you get a chance, go back and listen to Outkast speak at the Source Awards. They are literally getting booed by New York, and that's why. And you're gonna see Andre 3000 is extremely emotional about it.
You ain't got no love for the South. No, that's something I'm getting.
That was Snoop. But
I like when you on the panels, except for calm down, story guy. Let's get this part out.
I'm excited. I'm excited as hell.
Yeah, but hold on. But he couldn't get out what he wanted to say, and that's why he just ended it by saying the South got something to say. That was the whole reason he said that, because he was getting booed when they got their award, and it was New York.
What year was that again? I want to get mixed up. The one I was
the
at.
Source.
So the Source Awards, hold on. The Source Awards was in New York, but all of the North could have been at the Source Awards, correct? Because I don't want to take the blame, but I got to tell you, we are very particular about our music. And so I argue, we are. And you know what? You're right. And Andre 3000 did say the South has something to say. I'm going to tell you where some of the tension came in at, because I spoke to New York hip-hop artists today. They're actually on this app. They're two brothers, and one day we were talking, and I was like, well, it couldn't have been blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I got to tell you, BX, there's times that New York was shut down, people who wanted to perform. We do know that Pimp C, and he didn't even call it hip-hop. I think he called it country something.
Country rap tunes.
I love Pimp C, boy.
Okay, wait. So Pimp C had an experience with New York rappers or something, and he made some statements. So for me, this is how I feel about it, right? I'm going to defend New York to the unaliving of me, right? My whole hip hop artist list is filled with New Yorkers. I did like the Boss, DOC, certain music from the West Coast and the South send me screaming, right? But I am a New Yorker at heart. I love the New York sound. However, I'm not the ones, and people that we know weren't the ones locking them out of opportunities. So those who were trying to be like bullies and say you can't make money here and stuff like that, I think that they did us a disservice because the South is our people's, and when it comes down to that, I don't think they should have been locked out of opportunity. So we got to take the L for that. Moving forward, though, I would like to remind everybody that is industry politics. We got to put the industry politics to the side because I see the way some creators make their content about New York. Like they couldn't wait for New York to go through something. Like one guy was like, you know what? We thought this was bad, but we really need to look at New York. I mean, he was all, and I was like, wait. Yeah, that's right. New York ain't there. They ain't got this. And I'm like, whoa.
They still hurt
Hey,
though. No, listen.
Yeah.
To be real with you, BX. Like I know in the early '80s, and then towards the late '80s, New York they was kind of jealous of the West Coast rap scene at that time because they was making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying, with the gangster rap scene. You
Right.
know, first it was I
Bully
forgot the
D from
yeah
Philly who made gangster rap.
yeah
Let's
yeah
not
yeah
forget who made great gangster rap, but go ahead.
Hold up.
yeah.
I think they said I forgot his name. Gangsta rap. Actually, man, I ain't gonna get to that. I'm gonna save that for the never mind. Forget that. I won't get that. No, go ahead. That's not. I don't have a good enough.
Wait, but Miss
The
Simone, let
record
me,
labels
because, wait,
gave
wait,
it
wait,
they
because
gave it
Miss Simone said
gangster
something
rap.
very, very important, right? Because I'm a spectator. I wasn't in the industry. I'm just a fan. But you said that you had a chance to write an autobiography and also help with the Hip Hop Museum. Are you in the industry? Do you know some of we know you know Grandmaster Cass, but I mean like the industry side of it, the real industry side of it. Do you know that history, Miss Simone?
So yes, once upon a time, I worked at Jive Records.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
E40
and
was
that was
there. A lot
and
of
it's
Bay
so
Area cats
funny.
was there.
Like I was there like when R. Kelly came and actually spent the weekend. He slept in the lobby to get put on. So
Era, boy. That's a great era.
yeah, I go way back.
That's a great era.
And like I know like a lot of the pioneers because I grew up with them because of where I'm from. But after I went to a party at Russell Simmons' house in Soho when Baby Fat was first coming out, I didn't like what was going on. And so I felt, it was too demonic for me. So I stepped out of the industry, if you will. So yeah, but I know a lot
Yeah.
of them.
And BX, I love New York rap. I love New York rap, though.
She sound
It's
like
just that
Remy. No, I
they
sound like
didn't know. No,
Simone.
yeah, it's just that they wasn't, they wasn't giving us the respect
Let me tell you
in
why
the
when my
beginning.
chance come.
But the South and Midwest gave us respect, though.
I got you.
The
Okay,
South and
listen.
Midwest gave us
Wait,
respect.
I kind of want to hear Miss Simone's response to that. Do you feel like New
You better
York
stop playing with her, Basic.
didn't
Do you feel?
give
Do I feel what?
we were jealous of the West Coast and we just Miss Simone, what do you? Because I saw your comment.
We ain't jealous of nobody. So I don't know about jealousy, but I feel like when West Coast rap came out, gangster rap, I felt like we gave it respect. But then you look at Tupac, Biggie, Diddy now, who we found out was probably jealous of everybody. But
Diddy started that shit.
I don't know, listen, we are one, okay? I give props to everybody, the South, the North, the East, the West. I love West Coast hip hop. Rest in peace, Easy E. You know what I'm saying? It's just different flavors. That's all. We just all got different flavors. That's what I feel.
Miss Simone, tell me, the Bronx, listen to this. Y'all gave me the chance. I'll explain to you. I'm not even asking. You give me a pass. I'm going to tell you what the hip hop thing, why we were like that in New York. First of all, New York, when rap started, we was hard on anybody that rap. We really were. Now listen, don't forget. People get mad. New York, and I gotta get. All right. I
Hey, but
actually was.
story guy. Hey, but Cash was rapping like, because I'm an early '80s baby, and Cash was rapping in the '70s in the South and on the West Coast, in
No,
the
I know. No, listen.
Midwest.
No. I'm not saying that
They
guys
just
wasn't.
y'all had connections to the industry. We didn't.
Well. Hold up.
We
Wait.
didn't have
No.
connections
No.
to
No.
the
No. No. No.
industry. We
You.
made the industry. What you mean?
She's telling you, man. And listen.
They
New
didn't
York
want
first.
listen. They didn't want rap to leave the hood, if you will, so to speak.
We didn't like the
We
way Southerners rap. Listen.
no,
Stop.
don't say
Y'all didn't like
we.
the way
Don't
West
say
Coast
we.
rap.
Wait,
Y'all didn't
hold
like
on,
mid.
story
Y'all didn't
guy.
like
She's giving us
Midwest rap.
the
We
industry
didn't
part,
like.
not our feelings. She's giving us the industry and why it's not jealousy, that we're not jealous of anybody. Okay,
Yeah, they never listen.
She's giving us an
When
industry outlook. Okay, I wasn't in
when
the
we
industry, but I did like
when
the
hip hop
New York rap.
started, I equate hip hop to the way go-go music is right now. So we know go-go music is heavy DC, right? But it never really went national, so to speak, right? Or worldwide. But as black people, we know how important go-go is to the DMV or DC area. That is what they thought about hip hop. And that's how we was embracing hip hop when it started. It wasn't, we didn't say, oh my God, it's gonna be like this worldwide fashion, this world like West Coast and down south, we're gonna have these different types of styles. They wanted to keep us in the hood and in the park jams. And Russell Simmons is the one who took it downtown, if you will, to corporate America. And then from that, if anything was jealous, it was like, well, why is West Coast getting money off of something that we created? It's not even about who's the best rapper or whatever, because we all have talent. We're all FBAs in America. So all of that, that's pettiness to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about like what other people think about, Detroit got this sound. Like, come on,
Hey,
they invented Motown. I don't think any
Miss
genre
Simone, I just
could
want to
beat
ask
Motown. Period.
how
Let
did
her get it
New York
out.
create
I
rap
want to hear
when
it.
when
Let
when
her get
when
it
Let her get it
out.
out. Let her get it out.
Let her get
people
it
was
out.
rapping in all
Let
regions
her
before
finish.
rap hit mainstream? They was rapping in all regions.
We
Black
understand that,
people,
but she's
listen,
talking about the
black
industry
people as
side
a
of it.
whole been scatting and all of that for decades before the 1970s when hip hop as we know it started. So it's a black cultural thing. It doesn't matter if it came from New York, if it came from LA, if it came from Detroit. It's a black American genre, period. Just like jazz. We created jazz. Do you see jazz heads, the older people saying, well, New Orleans jazz was this and, South Carolina jazz was this? No, that's petty. Like, it doesn't
Awesome.
matter. It
Awesome,
doesn't
sis.
matter.
Yep, she's right. I love what you said, and it's all black music. If I get a chance, can I just tell you that some of the mindsets of some New York street people, if y'all listen to me, because I remember listen, I don't
Black
know.
American music.
Listen, y'all want the
Right.
answers?
Like,
In 1970, when let's remember, I can't speak for the country. That's what I'm saying. And I know black people been rapping for centuries. So we're not talking about just rapping. We talking about I'm not talking about rap. Yeah, we had all kind of rap. The
hip hop is a
Jubilee,
culture. It's not just rap.
right.
It's 5 or 6 elements to
But
it.
when we
It's
started
not just
making
rapping.
records, and let me tell you, because it is my perspective, and I know the perspective is I would watch guys battle. It was an art to it. It wasn't just rapping. If you had it in New York, the same way we would, if you didn't rap a certain way, your ass got booed. There's guys in New York who wouldn't try to rap because unless it was a certain skill. I'm a great singer. I never could get the rap right. So I didn't try to rap. And I would see some dudes rap good, some didn't in New York. And we had to add certain things. It had to be catchy. Sometimes we throw history in it. We might go.
Can I add something to that? Can I add something?
Yeah.
When hip hop first came out, the rapper was not the star. The MC was not the star.
Right.
It was the
It was
DJ.
DJ.
The
Right.
DJ is the star of pioneers of hip hop, which is why we know Grandmaster Flash, which is why we know Cool Herc, which is why we know Red Alert. It was the DJ. Curtis Blow who incidentally was under Russell, and Run DMC was under Curtis Blow. They used to carry Curtis Blow's records before they even became Run DMC. They put Curtis Blow as he was the first MC to ever be on national television rapping. And then the industry, corporate America, made the rapper the star. And now as we fast forward 50 something years later, and you listen to these words coming out of their mouths, to me, it was always a plan to get the words out that these people wanted us to digest. But when it started, we were partying to the DJs, scratching, playing different songs, and dancing to that. And then rap came. So the rappers were not even the richest or the most famous ones.
Mr. No, listen. These words here, these are the words what people like me thought was intelligent. When we heard these words, now it matters. Listen to this. 2 years ago, when I heard Run DMC say, I went to St. John's University. I mean, we were listening to stuff that mattered. I said, yo, when I heard them say, they started talking about going to college and wordplay and being able to read and write. Even the street kid, that's what we like. So we would listen to stuff they say. If you didn't say it a certain way, it had to be cool and clicking. It was boo, boo. So other people outside of New York might have thought all you got to do is rap. And they would say, hey, man, you're going to get mad at me, Southerners. I'm going to do it.
Hey, story time. Don't you think they had
I go
DJs?
to the show. Give me some more.
Don't you think they had DJs in other regions and that was locally stars in other regions? Because I know on the West Coast, they used to sell out the sports arena.
What year? What years?
This was like in shit. If you look on the Warren's B YouTube, he talks about it.
Give me the year.
This was
the year matters.
Yeah, I like Warren G.
68.
Huh?
This shit like 60, 68, 69, 70.
Oh, you got me there. Hold
Okay,
on,
so listen, let me help you out, FBA Dynasty. Let me help you out.
He said
West Coast man
not
had
Warren
all
G.
of that, right? The West Coast had all of that because we're talented everywhere. But you cannot take away the fact that New York City put whatever we were doing in every city on a worldwide map.
Thank
you cannot take that away from New York
City. FBA,
I'm not taking nothing away from New York.
FBA Dynasty. Now you trying to give it, bro.
I'm not taking nothing away from New York,
I
man.
disagree with you, bro. Nope.
I'm just saying locally, even in the South had locally, like people like if you go to their local towns,
say
like
the
they had their local.
Rapping then.
But what makes you think we don't know that, though?
We didn't even know. I'm just
saying. What makes
saying.
you think we don't know that, FBA? Like, we know
He's trying to teach you something. You ain't listening, bro.
We was the originators, so we know where all the other people were.
Why this guy? I can't believe that. That's the problem. See, I try to, when people
So y'all was young. Y'all was 15, 16 years old. Y'all knew what was going on locally in Atlanta, L.A.,
we
Chicago.
Wasn't down there.
We was 10, 11 years old.
We traveled down south. Yes, brother. My mother from Georgia.
Okay, so let me ask you something.
Wow.
If you use that logic, how would we know about Motown?
And Motown was already popping in the 50s.
But I'm just saying, how would somebody that's not in Detroit learn about Motown artists?
Yeah. They was already mainstream. Very
Gordy. You ain't answered the question.
Wait.
Answer the question.
Yeah. So we're losing people. Hold on. So here's the issue. It's possible for New Yorkers to understand certain things about the South because I just gave my history of living down there when I was a little girl with my granny and she had to send me back to New York. And that's why I'm so New York, right? So some of us did go back and forth to the South. So there's elements of Southern culture that we got to experience for ourselves. Now, I was too young to know what DJ was doing what when I initially lived in the South. Now, when I went back as an adult, that's different. You get it? So I'm not saying that we know everything about the South, but if it was popping, I'm pretty sure those who were going to the South experienced the local DJs and stuff like that. Because how would they get there? Their family members.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on where you're talking about. Because, like I said, I've never met a New York person, and Memphis is black as hell. And I've never had no friends who.
What is Memphis migration path?
That's why I said earlier. I said majority of the people here who have northern family members is either Detroit or Chicago.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, BX, I want to get back. You remember hip hop is my topic. Listen, when I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, remember I gave the
I don't know,
South
because
props.
I don't know if New York should be your topic. Talking about you ain't never seen a black
Right.
store until you.
No, but look, but hip hop, I might be wrong on the score. Look, I'm okay with that. But hip hop, I'm gonna tell you something, man. The dude, anybody, I feel like I'm insulted that anybody outside of New York would say, "Hey, man, hip hop, we were rapping now." We didn't say you wasn't rapping. You
Look,
understand? There's a certain
listen, Memphis. Yo, just keep Isaac Hayes and Stax records. Okay,
yeah,
y'all got
y'all,
that.
y'all playing
You
yourself.
feel me?
You had to have
Like,
a
I
certain,
love Stax records. Stop playing.
the dudes that
And
we saw.
barbecue. Stop
The
playing.
dudes we saw on the streets in different neighborhoods all throughout New rapping, you had to have, it wasn't just rapping, you had to rap a certain the bars, a certain timing to the beat, stuff you said that it was a certain thing that we liked in New York, and then they later on put them on records. We're not saying that people in the South didn't rap at all. We're saying they wasn't going. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme. So I said this rhyme I'm about to say. The rhyme was deaf and it went this way. Took her to become an MC and overnight became Major League. So Larry took me down
Oh,
south
my
in his
Lord.
Cadillac.
Okay,
That
Stormy.
is what
Calm
we're
down.
talking
Calm
about.
down.
Cause yo, and
The
then
first
hold
record
up,
was
hold up.
produced in New
Oh my
Jersey.
God.
The first
Yeah, and
record
I've
was
been
produced in New
Sugar
Jersey.
Hill Records. I've been to Sugar Hill Records. So what? So in New Jersey, it's in New Jersey.
All
It's
right,
New York rappers.
okay, story guy, man. You be so long winded, bro. Hold on.
Sorry.
So the thing is this, bro. We get it. That's why I said earlier, New York people didn't like the way the South rap.
We did.
So the South got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all had the industry, we was selling it out the trunk. That's just how it went.
Yeah, that's true.
And the South
Hold it out
still
the trunk. What are you saying? So there's a timeline in New York, right?
Timeline.
So Mr. Moe has more knowledge than I have, but when I started doing my research, right, and she filled in some blanks for me, I wanted to know who made hip hop corporate that it left the way that it used to be. But before it went corporate, what do you think people were doing? They were getting it out the mud too. They were, doing their gigs and they park jams and selling their stuff out the trunk too.
Great
Basically
point.
hustling.
hold
Hustling.
on.
Hustling isn't new to us. However,
I didn't
Curtis
say that.
Blow. This is my research. No, because I know the way it sounded, so I kind of want to clear it up. Curtis Blow is said to be, because he was the first one on wax, right? He had the power to commercialize. That's the not go to corporate, but to me they said commercialize hip hop. And so because I tried to look into who Curtis Blow was, cause I only found out who his mama was and stuff like that. So what I'm saying, and I don't want to go into the history if I don't have all of the facts, but it's a timeline in New York, meaning when they put together the elements, how they started doing their shows and how they started doing the park gyms and stuff, until somebody was snooping around and decided they were going to go corporate or commercialize, and now we're here. And for me, it said the resources I read said Curtis Blow did it. But now Mr. Moe came and said Curtis Blow was actually under, was it Russell or who was Curtis Blow
Yeah,
under?
he was with Russell and them, like, and Reverend Run and all of them. They was like his record carriers.
I remember
And
a
even
time
you know what's
where
real
y'all
interesting too.
had to watch y'all words when y'all rap. Y'all couldn't use profanity in y'all raps.
And how do you
At a
know
point in
that,
time.
FBA, if you wasn't in New
Because
York?
no,
How do you know
I'm
that?
saying on the
New York.
mainstream. Hey, no, I'm saying on the mainstream. My New York family on the
Hold on.
mainstream. The
Listen,
companies wouldn't letting y'all use profanity in y'all raps.
New York
And,
City is the media capital of the world. Y'all had a advantage. It's okay. It's not nothing to be ashamed about.
We ain't ashamed of
What
nothing.
do you
What you
think
talking
that
We're
when
not
was?
when the
ashamed
West
of
when
it.
the
Hold
West
on.
Coast
What
rap
I'm
came,
saying is
It
that
comes
when the
off.
brothers mentioning about them selling it out the trunk and getting it out the mud like that,
like NWA,
that's
they
what
was
he
out the
referenced.
trunk with it. They was all at the swap meets out the
Until
trunk with
when?
it.
Until somebody who from a record label recognized them and said, "We're gonna give you some money if you do." It's the same thing happened in
They
New York. So what if
they
the
No,
had a hit
media?
back
Wait,
but
before
it
they
wait. Let
met
me
that
get it
white
out.
dude. BS.
they
Let
was
me get
getting
it
so
out.
much
What
money
I'm
that he
trying to
wanted
say
a piece
is
Oh
of
my
this.
it.
What I'm
goodness.
trying to say is this. What I'm trying to say is this. We still was locked out of the media. Why you think Puerto Ricans think they created breakdancing? Because that damn movie, right? We
Ooh,
know
great
Black
one.
Americans spinning
Get
on
him,
their
Bronx.
head, and they came and appropriated shit
Yep.
and put them as the
Wait, guys.
representation. So us being the media capital of the world didn't mean shit. We was still subjugated here and locked out of stuff. And we had to hustle and get it out the mud too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so let me finish what I was
Story
saying
guy, he
because
animated, man. We
all
feel
right,
you, dog. We
so
feel you.
I think for the most part we've all heard about, like how New Yorkers were before the industry got involved. I never said New Yorkers weren't
Thank you, good.
hustlers or
Because the
nothing
way
like
you
that.
said it had a little shade in it. I pick up
It
on
did.
No,
shade.
It
that,
did. It did. I'm glad you checked
Let
that.
him
let me
Yeah, he
talk.
repeat
slipped
Let
what I
him
by me.
said.
talk.
Hold
Let him
on.
You
talk.
got
Let me
It
him.
was a little
You got him.
shady to me.
It was shady.
hold
It was
on.
shady.
It wasn't. So let me
Let him
finish what I
talk.
was saying. It wasn't what I said because somebody brought up the fact that the industry started in New York or something like that, from
And
what I
it
remember.
did. And it
Okay,
did.
so the point that I was making was we didn't have the industry, and so this is what we were doing. We was selling tapes and CDs and shit out of our trunk. I never said nothing about how New
Hold up.
Yorkers started hip
Selling
hop.
rap
Let
out
him
of your
talk,
trunk?
Story. Let him talk. Let him
Okay.
talk. Go
Yeah.
ahead,
So
Basis.
the point is, I feel like based off of our experience here, New Yorkers were like kind of I guess I would call it tribal. Because they was like kind of gatekeeping and shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a lot of southern
We were
rappers
gatekeeping. We were. I was.
yeah, so you'll have a lot of southern rappers that talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They talk about how when they went to New York or tried to go to New York, they ran into a lot of
Mm.
a lot of shit. They would even say it was politics. They'll
No,
say
we
they
didn't
gotta
like the way it
their
sound, man.
all right, bro.
Let him
God
talk,
damn.
Story. Stop. Come on.
All right, so the point is, bro, when I first was listening to New Yorkers, I didn't like that shit either. But I gave them a chance, and guess what? I became a fan of Dipset, and these niggas is extremely New York. There wasn't nothing southern about their sound. I like D Block. You know what I'm saying? We gave their music a chance, and even still, when the crunk music era took off in the South, really started making a lot of noise, we still embraced New York. You know what I'm saying? You had Jada Kids, Busta Rhymes, and them. They was on the Never Scared remix and stuff. We still embrace New York. The only point I'm making is, from our perspective, New York was extremely tribal. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Ain't
Take
nobody
that
trying to take
word.
a. Hmm?
Carlos Brody with
And the
Biggie.
West
He
had like a
produced
20-year
Biggie.
run. They had a 20-year run from like 85 to like the late 90s.
Carlos Brody from Memphis produced What's Beef. And like at least 2 or 3 on Biggie album from Memphis.
Yeah, but it was about who when it started. It was a certain way that we really did it, and it was New York City. It was our thing. I mean, it was dudes. It was a way to get out of the street. We got tired of hearing the music, disco music, and there was a time when all I listened to was rap because it was something new. We're like, yeah, we finally got something for us. That's what it was. We're like, yo, we like this, and this is only New Yorkers. And then we started seeing people outside of New York who liked it. Then they started those tours as the years going by. And we're just saying where it started, it had nothing to do with South except that our people, if you're going to get deep, our style, our
Story
rhythm, our
time. They was
soul.
selling out locally, man,
And then they started doing
in
tours.
these black enclaves and these other different regions. They
No,
was
you ain't never heard
locally.
of those fresh tours? Are you know about the fresh? Do you know about the fresh fest tours? They toured the United States, all New York artists. We would go Atlanta, go research. Atlanta, Chicago, the New York rappers was going all over the country,
And
and it
I'm
was
saying
only
before the New York rappers was doing that locally, the local rappers and DJs was selling out they own, locally in their own cities.
name me a local rapper. Let me get a year, because Tom, name me
Man,
a
look,
You
bro.
no,
I'm
actually
not
you
gonna
prove
sit
cut
up
me
you
off.
here.
actually
You
I'm not
cut
making
me
gonna
my
sit up
off.
point.
here. I'm
You
not.
cut
Story
I'm
me
not
guy,
off.
gonna
you
sit.
making my hold on. You making my point. The point is, y'all was embraced when y'all came to the South. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter that y'all was from New York, but when our artists tried to go there, it was a different story. That's why I say y'all was
So
tribal.
question. I'm sorry. I get what you're saying. Who was before Outkast from the South?
I mean, you had
3 6
I-
Mafia.
you had 3 6 Mafia. They
Weren't
didn't
they
make it.
embraced?
Give their year too.
3 6
It
Mafia
started
was
in like
You had the
early
down. You had the
like
down
90s.
south
Early
hustlers.
what? Early
like
what?
Early
early
90s.
90s, like the
Yeah, we
late
talking
80s,
to
early
dude.
90s.
You going decades later though, man.
What?
We're going
Scarface in the 80s.
decades.
You had Scarface in the late 80s.
Right, but remember
And we
you.
like Scarface.
We love Scarface. New Yorkers love Scarface.
Right.
We like something. I'm telling you, it was a
Oh
particular.
yeah,
Me,
8 Ball
Too
and
short.
KG.
didn't like
Too short.
Outkast until they had
bro.
We didn't
a
like Too
song
Short.
that was
Oh,
played.
Too
I'm
Short
gonna be
was whack to
honest.
us.
I'm gonna be
Too
honest.
short
Wait,
like
story
Memphis.
guy. For me,
Story, you
right?
crazy in your head,
Men
man.
I
Too
said to
Short
New
is a
York,
legend on the
listen,
West Coast.
don't
Too
get
Short is a
mad, man.
legend on the
Listen,
West Coast of
Wait, I
Nobody
don't want
getting
y'all
mad.
arguing
You
about
just
this
why
crazy in
you
point.
your
I
head,
want to
bro.
make
listen?
this point.
I
I want to make
said
this
nobody.
to
point. Hold on. So I can only listen to from the South because I did tell y'all after a certain time I stopped going to the South with my granny, right? So I can only listen to mainstream Southern music. So the radio dictated a lot of my taste. I'm gonna keep it anecdotal, right? But I love Scarface, right? And the Ghetto Boys and all of that. They were in heavy rotation here. I
yep.
also know about the Boss, NWA, DOC. These are people who were able to make it, as Basic would say, out the
No, they had
mud
deals,
into
BK.
mainstream. I love
That's
No Limit.
payola. That's
And they can't
payola.
even, they ain't the best rappers. Sister Shaka, right? But however, I used to get their DVDs. They used to do movies, and I used to watch their stuff. So to me, it's like I had to start thinking because Outkast, who was before Outkast? Who was? And I like the person
He said
before
Too Short.
Outkast, but
Too
I
Short.
don't really like Outkast. I
He
only
said Too
like a
Short.
certain amount of their song. Roses
Independent.
release,
No
no,
record
like
company. Y'all just Trump. Y'all crazy
So
in your
I'm
head.
just
Y'all talking about Too
wondering
Short.
You
if
weren't
it was
listening
a
to none of
matter
that.
of taste in that region for some, because for some it could be regional.
Well, all
Yeah,
radios
but
are
we have
paid to play.
Southerners that one moment, Miss Kyla, we do have Southerners that we embraced before Outkast. So
Yeah.
they got booed. I wasn't there, but I didn't really like Outkast either. But I did love Scarface. So for
Well,
whatever
I
that's
work with
worth.
Def Jam South, but I'm just saying those radio stations are
All right.
paid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
So
I'm
that
only as good. If I'm in New York, I'm only as good as what they're allowing on mainstream. Now, today,
right.
with the height of social media, I'm able to actually meet some of the artists, if they pay attention to me in their chat, and I'm able to hear their music without the clean version on the radio, and I'm able to kind of connect to it. Nola, if she's still in the chat, even though Juvenile been out for a while, her and a lady from YouTube got me into just Juvie's music. And so now I'm singing 400 Degrees, like, word, that nigga really said that.
Word up.
And I got
We
that shit
love
blasting in
Juvie.
my house.
Hey,
So
don't.
I don't, it just got to resonate with me, y'all. And
Right. Hey,
Outkast didn't resonate with me
hey,
after that.
Bronx.
So I'm
Don't most
sorry,
New
y'all.
Yorkers love. We love cats. It's not all. It was what I'm trying to tell you. We were particular about what we like from the South. The South.
Right.
Listen, a lot of stuff. Look, and my man, he got mad when I said Too Short. I know Too Short is a legend. I wasn't saying Too Short.
Like,
Listen, I was
An
telling you.
independent legend, dog.
Nate Dogg.
Look,
Damn,
what do you want me
E
to tell
forty,
you?
E
Dogg.
forty is
So
an
you want to make
independent. He an independent
so
legend, dog.
so
E
if I don't
forty.
Yeah, I
like him,
love
that mean you
400
hate me?
Degrees.
Hold
Yeah.
up, no, because
I
my
mean,
man got.
y'all crazy in your head, man. He brought something to the
Yeah,
game
it's been up
You won't
Well,
like
Not
what
to
you
he
hear on
brought
the
us,
he
bro.
brought
radio.
he brought
Not
he
Yeah, I
to
brought
be
he
here
brought
us.
rapping
lingo.
the Black American house.
He brought Black American vernacular that y'all ain't never heard before on the East
And
Coast.
we didn't want to
So
hear it
that's what I'm saying. That's game, man. Niggas
because we didn't
be
like
we
it. If
got
we like
game.
it,
They spitting game, dog. They like the Holla
we like
Hustlers when they do.
Jeezy. We like
Had
Jeezy.
music
We
with
like
dances
That's
and
why
Juvenile.
juking.
We like Cash
That's why
Money. We
E40
didn't
said
like Too
the
Short.
East Coast don't love me, but the South love me, the Midwest love me, but the East
That's
Coast don't love me. But
right.
I'm
Right. 'Cause
still
we
gonna
ain't
get
like the
my
way it
money.
sound. That's all it was. Some stuff you like, you just like the way it sound, bro.
Nah,
Like,
bro, but how the South
oh,
can
how you keep
relate, and
saying nah? I'm telling you
how the South can relate, and the Midwest can relate, but the East
because
Coast
they
can't
have
relate.
different. You asking me? You want me to answer a question I can't answer? Why? I'm telling you what is. You asking me why? I'm telling
Everybody
you.
else can relate in all regions except the East Coast. I
So
don't
do you think?
understand that.
So why you think?
How come the West Coast can relate to the South music and the Midwest music?
He don't want no answer. He don't want to answer. He just talking. Every
Just
time I answer, he
being
don't answer.
biased, bro. That was the issue with y'all. Y'all was being biased, bro, until
I
later
just
on in the
explained
game.
the bias for me, right? I just explained the bias for me, but there were Southerners that we did embrace because I'm only as good as what is being played, right? But Outkast never resonated with me until certain songs that went mainstream and they was in heavy rotation. But I loved Scarface. And I love West Coast.
Love
Hip Hop
West Coast, man.
NWA. I love No Limit, right?
We like West Coast FBA Dynasty. We just don't like everything you
And
try
No
to make it
Limit
like.
is Southern.
We don't like Too Short. You know what I mean? We don't like. We love
I
Snoop in New
never
York.
said I didn't like Too Short.
No, I'm
That's
not
like
story
Too
guys.
Short.
Remember
Hold on,
you
Dynasty.
hold
said
up
that
now.
Black Americans
Come on
didn't
now.
own stores in New York.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but
I mean,
we
come
like
on,
most
y'all.
of, but the West Coast like most of the
Let me
stuff.
stop. Let
The
me not
South,
throw him on.
we like
I
most
love
of the
your
stuff in the
story, guys.
Midwest, and we even gave y'all props, but y'all biased. I don't know why. It's like we understand what they're saying. We can relate to what they're saying. We like, damn, they just saying it in their
Someone,
own. And they saying in their own way from their region. The South got the Southern accents. They saying the same shit that we going through on the West Coast, and we can relate to it. The Midwest saying the same
We
thing that
didn't
we can
like the
relate.
way Too
I'm not
Short
going.
rap. We didn't like his
I
accent.
wanna.
We didn't like the way he talked. What
Nah,
we
story,
admitting it.
story, story.
He was he was he was spitting that ism on y'all. He
Hold
was
on,
putting
hold
that
on,
It
ism
took
hold
us
on
on.
a
you. He's
while to
out
get
here.
used
Hold
to
on,
it.
y'all. Hold up. I just want to chime into what Dyson just said. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Harlem, right? And so to what story guy was saying is true. It's largely is like there might not have been a connection, but to say, I think to your point, right, is there were still uses of like song or slang and terminology. It just wasn't to the mainstream as like a Snoop Dogg or a Nate Dogg or whatever like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like because E40 was putting down a lot of
We
different
don't
slang.
like E40
They
mostly. Am I right?
E40 is a West Coast legend. He's a legend, dog. Y'all
We
crazy.
know
E40.
this guy's
Hold on,
feelings
y'all.
is
Hold on,
this
y'all.
guy's
Hold up,
feelings
y'all.
is hurting too much.
Hold up,
Damn.
hold
No,
up,
ain't no
hold
feelings
up.
involved. That's disrespect to that man.
E40 did get love on the East Coast because people were
Oh, he
using the
did?
slang. People were using the slang from the Bay, bro. That's
Oh,
what I'm
Yeah,
see, I'm
trying to
later
wrong
say.
on
on
in the
that.
game,
I'm
story guy.
I'm
Later on in the
listening.
game, y'all caught on late. The South and the Midwest caught on early.
Matt, we
Okay.
were using slang from E40, Mac Dre, Too Short. Like we were, bro. Like this, the fashion stuff. We were doing a lot of cultural exchange back then, bro.
I
Can I
feel
ask
you,
you,
but
hey,
I'm just
brother?
saying. I'm telling
Nobody,
story
how old
guy
are you?
that,
How
that,
old are
that
you?
his
I want to
age they
know.
caught on late, bro.
I
Y'all
want.
got it right on time. Story guy in them areas they caught on late with it. That's
Hey,
why they
FB,
was
I still
biased.
love my. Hey, I don't hate my FBA, so don't turn into that. Okay, don't turn it into that. I love my FBA. Don't turn it into that. All right. We saying, and my
Wait, I
brother.
gotta tell nephew this. Nobody. Story guy says that he is 65, and the first time he seen a Black American store was when he went to the South. Please
Yeah,
tell him we have big
at 10.
dreams
Wait,
in
At,
New
no,
York.
Why
at
you
10.
saying
you
that
When I
from?
was 10. When I was 10 years old, though, yeah. I didn't see
Okay.
one. I didn't see one.
Uh,
I didn't see one in Brooklyn
Nah,
and Staten
I'm
Island.
50 and I
Hey,
remember
story guy.
stores. My
What year you
auntie
started
owned the
listening to Ice
store.
T?
My
Story
uncle
guy.
owned the
Ice T?
nightclub. But the
Yeah,
Oh,
way he said it, it's like we just didn't have
Ice
nobody
T he
here.
was born on the East. He was born in New York. He was raised on the West though.
who?
Mm, who?
Who raised
Ice
in the
T.
West? Oh, I don't know.
Ice T.
I know.
You didn't know that,
Ice
huh?
T. It wasn't.
You talking about something
Isn't
different. I'm just
T.I.'s
trying to follow
father
the.
from New York?
I
T.I., his
think
Yes.
dad.
he went to went to junior high and high school out here though.
Hey, nobody. I wanted nobody because nobody teach me somebody I didn't know. Listen, that's why I say I don't
Even
mind learning.
Corrupt is from Philly.
Oh, I love
But
corrupt.
he went to
But
school out
look,
here though.
nobody, right? I didn't know. Listen, like I said, I'm learning. I can't assume everybody felt like me. Like when I heard
Yeah, Too Short originally
look
from L.A. Yeah,
listen,
that's true.
all the
Oh, yeah.
people when I started hearing Southern rap and West Coast rap, when the rap that I heard people remember I sold mixtapes, but y'all don't care. The rap that I heard the New Yorkers later on in the 80s, 90s, that nobody I know once. I've never heard a Too Short record on the radio. I've never heard nobody.
Cause he was out his trunk with it back in
I'm
the early '80s.
He like where do you think LaRussell and all these new cats got it
no.
from? They got it from
So
Too Short and
what I'm telling you,
E40.
when I heard it, I didn't like it. But it's a bias.
Yeah, story
I'm
guy,
maybe
story
a
guy. But
bias.
what you're for?
Man,
You
no,
know,
see, nobody you
hold
understand.
on,
Story guy was out of
hold
touch,
on, y'all.
man. He was an heir
He's
of y'all, so he was like had that
nah.
vibe. He
Well,
wasn't New
he's
York. It
forgetting.
ain't
He
nothing.
It could be that. I don't know. It could
Dynasty.
be.
Real quick. He's forgetting about the crate diggers, the people actually looking for the vinyls, looking for the records,
Right,
who are actual true students of the F's. So I
right.
get your opinion about you might not have liked it, but to say New Yorkers wasn't intersected with a sound, that's not true, bro. Record shops.
No,
I remember
not the
record shops in
South.
the,
Now, don't
hold up,
change the
hold up,
words.
hold.
Not the
No, no,
South.
no, no, no.
I said
I didn't say the
artists.
South.
No, no, look, nobody. I'm not
I
talking
said
about
the
your
Bay.
era. I'm talking about his era. I'm not talking about. I know your era was on
But
point.
even in
His
like
era.
but Dynasty, you know, like in the 80s and 90s, even like the mid 80s, they had records from other regions.
Yeah,
It's particular record stores,
people
and
got a
especially in
hold
the
of
East
him.
Coast.
Yep.
But if
Yep.
you, unless you were like an actual hip hop fan, you wasn't really checking for other records from other regions like that.
That's
If
Nah,
you
all I
wanted to
was
be
saying.
regionally
not
biased, that's
not in
one
hip
thing.
That's
hop.
But
I
all I
don't
was
think
Elvis
telling
so.
my
yeah,
man.
that's some
Presley.
East Coast, that's some New Yorker shit though.
It's in New York, yes, that's the whole point. We're telling you, we were very particular, and some of them we accepted. Like Too Short, Snoop came in on the bomb. He was left from the beginning, as far as I know. I could name a lot of West Coast rappers that was left from the beginning. I was specifying,
But all
and
them
I,
rappers you talking about, they liked the East Coast shit from back in the early '80s, late '70s.
you saying they liked East Coast stuff?
Yeah, they was listening to that shit too, like
No,
giving
no,
y'all
we not.
props, giving y'all
We know.
props.
Listen, we know that y'all were listening to our stuff.
But y'all wasn't listening. Y'all was biased against us. That's where the
Yes,
divide
but
that
why?
came
Why
in.
you still mad about that though? That's
Nah,
what we
I'm just
talking
letting you.
about.
I'm giving you a history like that. That's what it was on
But
that.
we already know that. That's what we're saying, bro. You're repeating stuff like maybe you had some trauma. You keep going. We're saying
I
yes.
don't know what trauma you talking about. I'm peace and I'm all right.
We're
It's like
saying
you said you ain't
we
see no black stores in your own city. Like I mean that's crazy. How you grow up in the '60s and you see one black store out of
not
all of
one,
them.
not one.
Man, you had some trauma then, bro.
Hey,
That's
I accept
crazy.
that. But see, I accept that trauma. If you call that trauma, I take that. I take that. That's a part of it.
He said he ain't seen no pharmacists. He ain't
I
seen
ain't
no
seen
doctors.
nothing
You ain't
until
seen
I
no
came to
doctors.
Atlanta.
You ain't seen no black folks own homes then.
In Harlem, I did. I seen Harlem. I seen Harlem stores.
Oh,
Yeah.
you grew up in the projects then.
I
Okay.
grew up in the
All right.
projects. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the slum.
Damn.
But
I
I
feel you,
had
dog.
access. My aunt across the street, she lived in a nice project, so we hung over there. So I didn't want too many people to know where my bummy building was. But across the street, yeah. So yeah, it's just all good.
I mean,
But
you got
that
projects on the
happened.
West Coast, but you still had a gang of black folks that own homes and
That's right.
was in the
And when I
military.
can't, hey brother, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said. And you think I'm the only one? So there's black kids who didn't see homeowners until they went to certain parts. You're not against me. You're actually saying what I'm saying. I didn't say that black folks was. You all over the place. We're talking about hip hop, and you're going. I
Hey, look,
acknowledge.
I'm gonna tell Miss Simone. Look, they were saying hip back in the '50s doo wop thing. They were using the word hip back then.
That's right. They
So
call it hip.
I don't know how just New York created hip hop.
You
They
got
were
a
Stop
saying
it.
that.
problem with New York.
I seen
Stop
some
it.
old videos. I seen some
Stop
old
The
it.
lady
videos
from the
in
record
the doo
company is
wop
talking to
days.
You
you.
already
Miss
know
Simone,
what
I
I
seen some
mean.
I'm
old
not messing with
videos
him no
that were
more.
Stop
He
saying
it.
gone. I ain't
Stop
saying to
it.
him no
Pig
more.
Meat Markham.
Listen,
Pig Meat
back when
Markham
they
was
were
saying that
saying
back in the
hip,
day.
back when they
Pig
were
Meat
saying
Markham,
hip
see?
and all of that, it was not to the genre of
Pig
music
Meat
that we
Markham was
know
saying that back
today.
in the
So
days.
It's
In
talking
the
stop
doo
it.
about
wop
what's,
days.
He's
yeah,
not listening to
Miss
Stop
you.
it.
Simone, hold on, wait, Miss Simone is right. It's talking about what's cool, what's current, what's
Stop
popping.
it.
Yeah,
It
it has
was
nothing to do with
not
the
related
music.
to
Yeah.
music. Stop it. Rest in peace, Starsky. Stop it.
No, Pig Meat
Love
Markham was
Bug
saying, I seen the
Starsky.
old
Stop
video.
it.
Pig Meat Markham.
We already
And
know that, so you ain't
even
teaching
James
us nothing.
Brown, I
We
can
know
dig
about
rapping.
Pygmy
Like we
Market and
this
James
all this,
Brown. We
yeah.
love them.
The
I
teeth, the
think this
tethers isolated y'all from everyone else. Ain't nobody isolate us. We on top in New York City with hip hop.
New
Black
York was
Americans.
the New
That's
York
why most black
was
people.
just an incubator
bl-
for all the cool shit we've been doing for 100 years plus New York. And then
No,
like I
now
said,
Miss
without
Simone, y'all adopted
Majority of
real.
black
without the
Americans
Southern New York
still live
Y'all
in
connection,
New
hip
adopted
York
hop would not
City.
be what it is today.
Midwest culture. Y'all adopted
You
West
can't take
Coast culture, and
one
y'all
thing without
David,
the
adopted
other.
South.
Because
And
I
this
y'all
can't
better
keep
go
generation,
up if
say
y'all all talking
Compton.
at the
and
same
this
time. Hold on,
generation.
FBA Dynasty. Let her get her thoughts out. Go ahead, Miss Simone.
No, they like you want to come from New York City, like come for us. Like the majority of black Americans historically to this day are in New York City. The majority. So y'all can say whatever y'all want. Y'all can try to put us down. Y'all talking about stuff all the way in the 70s and the 80s. Like, just don't come for us. Like, come on, stop. Don't
No,
come
we
for
not.
us.
We love y'all. We ain't coming for y'all.
Nah,
We love
FBA,
y'all.
you done
But
showed
what
your
I'm
colors,
saying is
man.
that, what I'm saying, look, Simone, look, we love y'all, Simone. We know y'all holding it down out there. But what we saying is nowadays y'all adopted the Midwest culture, down South culture, and then back in the early '90s y'all adopted some of the West Coast culture. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. When you say we adopted the Southern culture, what do you mean if some of us have ties to the South? So,
Like,
because y'all
Yeah,
seem
that
to
doesn't
think
make
that we
sense.
not up here having
My
family
granny from North Carolina,
reunions,
so how can I
going
take
to
something
no,
that's
no,
church
that's part of my culture?
Sunday.
not like that, not like that, y'all, not like that. But what I'm saying
Y'all
is
just
like,
mad we
if this
got money.
generation,
No, but
Y'all
no, no, no,
mad we
no,
got
no,
money.
dynasty, no,
hold
dynasty. I
on,
see what you're
hey,
saying. No,
hold
no,
on,
no, no,
West Coast
dynasty,
got
no,
money,
no,
down
no, no.
down south got
I
money.
agree. No, I agree with you.
Mr.
You
Mo,
right
no, no,
because
don't get in your
you
feelings
look at
like that. It ain't like that because
no,
we
no,
all
no, no,
got
no,
money around
dynasty,
here.
dynasty, no, 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 dynasty. It's you right because it's that's something I told a lot of the younger rappers like 10 years ago and even now that like you're not gonna get on trying to sound like the New York version of Future or the New York version of being Playboy Cardi. So no, you're right about that. I'm not gonna hold you. Like New York never we got too repetitive with the boom bap shit, and then we didn't create a new sound that could take us into the further interests. I will agree with you on that. End. That is
Cause
true.
look, nobody. I remember a time, man, when New York never even had no gang culture. They just had cliques and crews. They didn't have no gang culture down
Know
there. It
how
only
that
had,
Are
it
you
only
feels.
had.
bragging about
Wait,
gang
wait,
culture,
wait,
bro?
wait. I was
No,
waiting
no,
for
I'm just
somebody
No,
no.
You
to
I'm
shouldn't
not
even
finish.
brought
bragging
that
about.
up.
no, that's not
No,
what he
what
said.
you
That's
didn't
not what
even
he
story
No,
said.
guy.
I
Oh,
That's
understand.
not what he
I
copy it.
said.
understand.
Copy
Wait a
it.
minute. Wait a
Come on,
minute. Wait
story
a
guy.
minute.
I got it
Calm
now.
down, man.
Do
No,
Calm
we
you're
know
right.
down.
why that?
We did
Hold
copy that
on,
gang
y'all.
culture.
Let me get my thought out. So, do we understand why? Okay, so Mr. Mo mentioned Black Space, right? Space was very instrumental in protection in hip hop. Am I correct?
Yes.
But do we know why we have the Reds and the Blues here in New York? Like, do y'all
Because
really
of
know
the
the history? Not you. I know
OG
you.
oh no,
Mac, right?
my bad, BX.
OG Mac was in Compton with his cousins in Compton, right?
I'm talking about starting from behind the wall when
No,
my
she's talking about UBN getting to New
Oh,
York. That's
that
what she's
started
talking
in LA,
about.
the LA County Jail in
No,
1983.
no, 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 no,
no.
no.
I'm
No,
saying, do you
Dynasty, not
understand
that. She's
why
talking
it's
Okay.
about
in New
the how
York?
the
To protect
UBN got
against
to
the
New
Puerto
York.
Ricans, the Latinos in
Oh,
Rikers
right,
Island.
right.
That's what
Okay,
I
yeah,
heard.
you're right.
So
You're right.
that's start. Yeah. I'm gonna go with story guy, right?
All over again.
So
We
wait, wait,
start
wait,
getting.
wait, wait. Let me get my thought out. So there would be Black American men coming up on the yard. I never been in. I don't even work for a correctional facility, but this is what those who were there are telling me. Our men would come up on the floor and just be attacked.
Yep, that's a fact. I've been to Rikers Island many
To the
times.
point where I was about to cry. BX, about to cry, imagining our men just getting up to go do their time and was attacked. So
By
don't, because I even wanted
Latinos.
to know why they were in New York, why I even have loved ones who decided to join that. And then the real started coming out and telling me what was going on behind the walls.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it spilled into the streets. But the Latinos, and this is why I be calling cap on a lot of shit the Latinos be saying. They know they would attack us.
Yep.
And so, especially behind the walls, our men had to form what we now know as the Reds and Blues here in New York. But for me, even though we had the Black Space, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? I was born in 75, but I was raised in the 80s and 90s, right? They weren't prevalent. GANGS wasn't a big part of my life. Like, we named ourselves, we had crews, right? And our crews could just be a group of friends. Some of us rapped, some of us was into fashion, some even wanted to be models. And we named ourselves. Mine was BMW, Bronx Most Wanted, right? That's funny because that's my tag name on Twitter and here. But this is my thing. So it's not that we adopted it because we thought it was cool. It was a form of protection for our men behind the walls. I'm just upset that it's still here in New York and there's still a need for them,
Hey, BX,
obviously.
let me ask you a question. When Rich and Alpo was running around New York in the mid '80s, right? So it wasn't no Reds and Blues around then,
No,
right?
we didn't do that back
No.
then.
Right.
I'm answering it. And I was surprised when I heard
We
later
was doing
on.
it though. Hey, story God, we already was organized in those jails back then. The essays knew they had to stay over there, and the white tees knew they had to stay over there because we already. It was basically the red and blue was tripping on each other, and the white tees and the Mexican didn't want no parts of it back then.
Your West Coast different. Y'all got your thing on the West Coast. I know
No,
about that.
Chicago had their thing cracking
Yeah,
too then.
Chicago too, with them Spanish people. Yeah, you look. I can't speak for Chicago. Like you could teach me, but we'll tell you, brother. You asked the question. New York City. When I found out New York had gangs, I said, "Nah, we don't do that." Because I'm going back to the '70s. I'm proud. I said, "We don't do that corny stuff."
I
I
was
thought on
one
the
of
West
them
Coast.
too.
I was mad. I said, "We got gangs. That's corny." Then I realized with the jail situation, it was necessary. Yes, she told you the truth. I'm like, man, New York don't do that corny.
Hey, look,
We too
who,
sophisticated. I thought we was
OG
too
Mac, man,
sophisticated for
they
that.
say today
one
with
that
that,
said
man,
all that
because
extra shit. I just, you know
the
what
Latin
I
Kings
said
is
when
on
I
the move.
found out? Go ahead, FBA Dynasty.
He
No,
got
I
he
was
got to get
saying
out.
that. I was saying that. Oh, the ones that tied them bandanas on them phones in y'all county jails in Rocker Island. They say today because them Latin Kings and them other folks was plotting. So that was a good move by y'all back then.
So
But
let
they
me
Whoever that
tell
did
you
that.
what I found, what I said when I found out, because the story goes on some other timing. When one of my favorite cousins looked at me and said that he was a member, I said, why would you do something stupid like that for? We a GANG of our own because my family is so fucking large. And
I'm
some
gonna,
of us are
hey,
batshit
BX. I want to
crazy.
reply to story
I
guy.
just
Story
couldn't
guy,
understand. Well,
you gotta
I'm gonna get it out.
understand.
I just couldn't understand why one of my loved ones, with all the family we had, felt like that. But he was also the one that the judge told him, if you bring your black ass, well, he didn't say black ass. If you bring your ass back here, I'm gonna throw the book at you. So he does have a history of going in and out. So
yeah.
now it makes sense.
Yeah, he
Now it
had
Hey,
makes
to.
look,
He
sense.
hey,
had
look,
to, yo.
story guy. Listen, bro. See, our games it wasn't corny, bro. That came from Huey P. Newton and all them up in the Bay, the Black Panthers, man. That was walking around with their arms, bro,
No,
protecting
it
our
wasn't
neighborhood
corny
away from
for
the
y'all.
police. Our gangs in California came from the Black Panther Party. That was an offshoot of the Black Panther Party. That was to protect the neighborhood from the white tees used to come around and catch black dudes coming from work, and with their pregnant wives and all kind of stuff and the trucks and all that, and they come with bats and chainsaws and all kind of weird stuff, man. And
I
and the
understand.
police was in on it too, bro.
I
You know what I'm saying?
understand.
Then the police would arrest a random black dude coming from work and drop him off in the white tee neighborhood, man, hoping he'd get smashed, man.
I know that.
So
You right.
that's the gangs came from the Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton up there in the Bay in Oakland and stuff.
That's true. It
Hey,
changed
hey,
over the
Miss
years.
T,
I
Miss
don't
T in the
know,
chat.
brother,
Am I
because
right, Miss T in the chat?
from what I
Am I right,
heard,
Miss T?
from what I heard,
One at a time.
hold on.
Let
If what you
Striving
saying is
talk because he
true,
hasn't talked in a while. Go
Some of
ahead,
it.
Striving.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say if what you saying is true, then why was from what I heard they was spanking them gang members up in the LA jail when y'all was first coming there.
Was what?
And who said
Them
some old?
gang
Who said
members,
who? Hey, brother,
I
you
said
listening?
dumb
You
gang, and
uh-huh.
I
listening to
explained it to you
you
what I
listening to
mean.
YouTube, bro? Hey, bro, I've been up in them. What the hell is you talking about, bro? Look, everything is segregated, man.
They was not liking that gang shit.
He
They
listening to YouTube.
they
Let me
was
tell you.
not
Let me tell
liking
you
that
right now.
gang
Listen,
shit when
bro.
they first
Listen,
came in
bro.
there.
Listen. This shit been going on since
Go ahead.
1969. Since 1969, bro.
One minute,
Everything's
fellas.
segregated,
One
bro.
minute, fellas. 1 minute. If y'all hear me saying red and blues and spelling out GANGS, why would y'all say the real word?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah. Gonna
protect
get
the
the last flag. I
integrity
gotta be
of the
careful.
lives, please,
Yeah,
y'all. Go
yeah.
ahead.
You get
I'm saying
abandoned
like
or
this guy, look,
yeah,
BX. I just
reduced.
want to tell him, look, everything been segregated even before 1969 when the red and blue came up in them jails and prisons in
Prisons have
California,
always
man.
been segregated. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always been a
so
thing.
like if blacks got to go in the cell with blacks. The Mexicans got to go in there with their people. The white tees got to go in there with their people. Even with the Black Panthers has started a war in the prisons and was smashing the police and all that. And
That's how
taking the
we
white
got.
tea, man, hey, Miss T can tell you we broke folks out of jails and prisons up there in the Bay, and it's
That's
everything
how we.
trickled down all the way to L.A. Man, we've been smashing on that Black Power, Black Panther shit, man, since back in like
That's
the
why.
early
Now,
'60s.
Dynasty. To your point. To your point. That's how we got the Black Gorilla family. Like it's just to
There
your
you
point.
go,
All these
there you
things are
go.
are these things are connected to what we remember. The like just like the Crip, just like the Blues and the Reds. It's like they were community orientated gangs to protect.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, GANGs to protect from
Yes,
racial
sir.
hatred and what you call it. That's primarily what it was.
Great point. And let me add, so I don't be wrong. FBA Dynasty, yes, I know a lot about the gang, and I respect that. I got it mixed up. Let me say it clearly. I know about when the gang started for the good cause. I guess I was fast forwarding. By the time it got to the 90s, it had devolved. Most of those leaders, they had locked them up and put them in
No,
jail.
before the '90s though. Story time. It was in the '80s. It was like how the '80s was like how Chicago was
I'm talking about New
in the
York
early
gangs.
in the mid 2000s. Yeah,
I'm talking
And
about
you
New York
didn't even
gangs.
say the word. Spell it
the
out.
game.
Spell it out.
Nah,
GANG.
New York's the beat. The New York Red dudes, they never was on some community shit. They never was. They was on
Right.
some straight up
So
just, yeah. They
so
was on some like fight the. It was prison
right.
politics that bled out onto the streets. That's what
And
the
and
different
and
origin.
and that's what I was saying. I know the beginning, the great what I was saying, by the time New Yorkers did it, they wasn't doing it for that. And I was saying it's corny for the New Yorkers to start just grabbing on something that came over there and just do it. I wasn't saying it was corny.
I always, yeah, and I always agree with that, my
And that
G. I
made
got
me mad. I'm
cousins
like,
who
why
was like,
y'all
yeah, it
I'm
was
like, don't even
corny,
know why they
yeah.
doing it, New York, because I was so disappointed that New York, I thought we were, remember, arrogance, I thought we was too sophisticated to just be doing some, and I'm still mad, like, yo, we doing, because I came from Black Power, Muhammad Ali, all,
Hey, but
rap,
story guy, it was needed though. It
huh?
was needed, bro.
Yeah, I see now.
It
Well,
was needed,
I
bro.
didn't know that. Now I know why. Because I've been on Rikers Island, but when I was there, it wasn't that bad. Last time I was there was '93, and I didn't notice it because I was a strict Muslim. But yeah, before I came, I like telling them I might be dead tomorrow. I'll tell all my story. And first time I went in, I'm not gonna. And when I was 18, I went to prison. And I was real cool with Puerto Rico. Long story. So I did 3.5 years. It wasn't none of the gang stuff. When I went back the next time in '90. I still it was separate. It didn't have to really be that many gangs. But my son, he teaches me now. He said, "Yeah, Dad, you don't know." He said, "Dad, you got out right on time." So he be teaching me. I'm like, "What they doing with this gang stuff?" I'm like, "You fight, you get a fair fist fight, or maybe I have to stab somebody."
And
But
you know what, story guy, and like how y'all
You gotta
New York
say
deep,
total.
y'all deep with the red in New York. It's the opposite in Cali, bro. It's like the blue is the deepest in
I
California.
thought red was deepest in Cali. Oh, it's blue.
Hell, man, you
I
crazy,
don't know. I don't know. You
man.
gotta teach me.
Man, for every red one, for every one red, you got like 6 or 7 blue.
Hey, nobody talk about Chicago though. Ain't they the one
It,
that started that
it
stuff?
probably it probably now it probably didn't change. Now it's probably like for every like 3 reds, it's probably like 6 blue now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I was able to avoid the gang. So I don't want to act like I have a lot of. I'll talk about hip hop. Gang, I know some. That's what I'm saying. I'll go back to that hip hop. I'm gonna make my whole whatever you want to say is. I'll go back to whether New York. We can argue about that later on. But first, we make sure. See, whether we debate on which one of us FBA did it, that's cool. If we want to see it the South and North, that's cool. But we got to make sure the foreigners don't slip in. And there's no foreign influence in hip hop. Whether you want to say the South, we work that out. But just make
that's
sure
why
you
we
watch.
on code now. Story
Yeah,
guy, we on
that's
code
all I'm
now.
saying.
And
We could
that's
go.
how you bring it back to the prompt.
Yeah,
Right there. Okay.
yeah, that's right. Hey man, can I get out of here?
Can I
Y'all,
remind people
I
of
love
this?
that y'all kept me. I'm leaving now, not because I want to. I'm glad y'all kept me this long with my long talking ass.
Yeah,
But I love
yeah.
y'all. I gotta go home and cook dinner, man. That's all.
Uh,
I gotta
Cook
go
that
cook
dinner,
dinner for
man.
the
I
family,
appreciate the
man.
but
story
wait, let me
guy.
say this. Let me
Uh
say this before you drop.
huh.
Our relationship with the South, the West Coast, the Midwest, and all, every
I
region.
love them all.
Wait, I ain't finished. I could argue with my sister. I could argue with my cousins. I could even fight them, right? But you better not touch them tomorrow, or
That's
we're gonna
right.
jump your ass. And
That's
that's
right.
how I look at our relationship with the South and the West Coast.
That's
For a
it.
long time, I thought the West Coast was still carrying feelings. I wanted to visit Cali, but I was kind of scared too. But now I got to tell you, I've met some beautiful Californians, and we actually be in the inbox talking about what we're facing as far as ethnocide. We talk about the bills needed, how FBA can move forward. So when you see a New Yorker, right, saying things such as, well, you don't know how to dress, you must be a Southern bitch, right? We remember Nigerians said, please know
Yeah.
that's a tether or a bi ethnic. I gotta say that. Unless it's story guy talking, then it might be it. But for the most part, we're moving forward. I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm gonna say shout out to the host because this is the panel I wanted to have with New Yorkers, talking about the history and certain things like that. Of course, my Southerners would be invited. So you had the panel that I wanted to plan, and this was beautiful, even though I'm sensitive about my
Well,
city and
BX, you should
how
still
we're
have that
seen.
panel. You got a way bigger platform than me, so I think
Not,
that'd be great
not
if you did like a
really.
part
It's because
two.
I have my YouTube, but I'm kind of strict. So when I started my panels, I had a swear jar. They could cuss, and I don't have tethers coming in and out of my room, right? And our people like to cut up every
Tethers
now
are
and then.
fun though. Without tethers, I can't have no fun no more. So I want the tethers to come. I'm beyond. I'm a bully
Yeah.
now. I'm an
Yeah, y'all
FBA
Well, I
scared
bully.
just
them
want
off,
to say
man.
that as
We
long
haven't
as
really
we
had that
know
much
how to be on
opposition.
code, we could talk it out, we could hash it out, but I'm still a little super sensitive. I just want to say industry politics should no longer play a role in how we move forward. We could talk about it, but let's not get stuck there.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
This was great for me, everybody. Thank y'all. Hey, look, this y'all get everything you can from me. I'm 65. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but I got some information, and all of y'all younger ones glean it from me. Glean it. As far as hip hop, especially, just glean it. If whatever I got, because soon as argument will be over, and I'll need another fight. But the hip hop argument ain't over because there's still people every now and then trying to claim our stuff. And we got a bunch of stuff. They trying to claim a lot of stuff from us. So it's not just hip hop, but that's my main thing. And your young people, y'all is very important. And make sure your children teach them because it's very important, man. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.
Welcome story, guys.
Appreciate your family.
Yeah. This was nice. Even though Basic tried to come for us. Nah, I'm joking. I heard the
All right,
same.
BX, we can shut it down because
We can shut it down.
I gotta do some things
Final
now.
words. Can we have final
Yeah,
words,
does
Simone?
everybody get a final word or?
Hey, BX, I love you, BX.
I love y'all too. Of course, I love y'all too. Basic, you have final
And
words.
Simone, I love y'all.
Love you
Love
too,
y'all too.
brother.
This was fun. Thank you, FB Built America.
Thank you, Miss Simone.
MBS sis. This was so much fun. I learned so much.
I followed you. I gave you a follow, Miss Simone.
Yay,
So I
thank you.
can
I'm
make
trying to
it
get
to
to
your show.
10,000.
Yup.
All right, cool. I'll see y'all. Thank
All right,
you.
shout out to everybody on every side. Shout out to FBA, y'all.
Yeah.